Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with a follow-on video from some video I did probably a week or so ago, where I talked about my dreams and shopping list, if you like, for Christmas for Torino, as often mentioned as a fan of Italian football generally. I was even thinking of titling this one um, "Message to Torino Fans," because I thought it'd be interesting, as I mentioned with Monza as well. It'd be interesting if the fans could get involved and see how they could benefit the club. So I was thinking, one thing I'm thinking of is like how that can those involved in the club, as I talked about in my previous videos, how could they include the fans and sort of bring the fans together, maybe take questions from the fans, reassure the fans about the plans for the future and the investment in the club and things like that. But I was thinking, how could the fans contribute to the club as well, so they could share their ideas, suggestions, or whatnot, and maybe invest in the club and even donate to the club, preferably do both, and again share ideas about how the club can, as well as being part of the community, could also how they could how the fans could benefit the club. I was just thinking, I hope I don't get mixed up. I was talking about Monza earlier, and I was thinking this time for Torino. Ideally, in my ideal world, if I had the ability to make it happen, um, I would have loved to see companies that begin with T investing in Torino. So companies like Tata, Toyota, Tesla, and others, as I mentioned, I think about a week ago. But yeah, I would have loved for that to happen today, as it's Boxing Day, or technically yesterday. Unfortunately, obviously, it wasn't to be. But I wonder whether Torino fans could, like, sort of, as they could invest in the club, donate to the club, and even do a bit of both, and help the club to have raffles and lotteries and things like that. That could fundraise for the club. So like each lottery ticket could cost €1, but if or something like that, it could be done with the diaspora around the world as well, and Torino fans around the world. In America, say for instance, it could be $1 for a ticket, and then the winners could get half the prize money, and the club could get the other half of whatever was spent. For instance, so it could be like one winner that gets half the money, and the rest goes to the club. And if they had creative ideas like that, I think it'd be cool to see what they could do to fundraise for the club and look at any legal way they can bring investment in. But also, I wonder if the fans could, like, say for instance, avoid hooliganism or any trouble, or inviting any fines onto a club, um, um, or things like that, or things, basically things that will cost the club or damage the reputation or anything like that. So if they could avoid hooliganism, I'd love to get hooliganism or violence and prejudice generally as well out of football in Italy. Um, and similar for Celtic. I was thinking of doing a version for Celtic as well, but I think it's a bit late, so I'm probably going to do that tomorrow if I can, or on Thursday even, maybe even Friday. But yeah, so I was thinking it'd be cool if the fans also could write to potential investors and sponsors, and see what they could do for the club. And I'm sure that if I could myself, if I had the money, I would definitely love to invest in or even donate to the club. I'd love to give about, if I had enough money, if I was a billionaire, I'd love to give like 20% of whatever money I had, basically whatever above what I need to live on, to towards or for Italian teams and Celtic, towards the development of Italian football and Celtic. And on that note, as I mentioned before, I would love to see if Torino and other Italian teams could have a partnership with Celtic, like they could learn from each other, practice together, especially at youth level, and things like that, and look at what they could do to benefit each other. I say within the rules of the game, as I often say. So, and on that note, I'd love to see again how they could get any legal investment into the club. Just hoping I didn't forget anything, but I often talk about how I dream to set up a network for neurodiverse billionaires, and I'd love for them to invest in, or even donate to, or well, maybe have investments in Italian teams like Torino. So I'd love to read comments from Italian footy fans or football fans generally, especially in this case, let's say Torino for this video. And as I often say, another thing is, if I'll probably leave on this note and hope I didn't forget anything. If I got to monetize these videos, whatever is in the title, so let's say in this case Torino, I would love to donate to the club. to help it to improve as much as possible, to buy the best possible players, invest in the youth and things like that. As a fan of Italian football generally, so I hope it will benefit club and country. On that note, I also hope they'll develop the youth, the youth in Italy. So I hope it'll benefit, I'll say, in this case, Torino and the country as well, the national team. So for club and country, as I say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as ever, I'd love to read your comments, especially, as I say, fans of football, and in particular Italian football fans, Celtic fans, and Torino fans. But as ever, all welcome, all comments welcome. Hopefully they won't be too harsh, and especially positive comments, even constructive criticism, but in particular positive comments are welcome. And I hope, as I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I get lots of likes and things like that, of course. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I think that covers everything. Anywho, peace and love. I'm out.